Well, what a crazy after hours. It is Monday, May 12th. Hope everybody's doing well. It's Rod with POW Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. We're going to get started with the live stream here in about a minute. Bit of a last minute live stream. I didn't even know that VFF earnings today were today. I thought they were tomorrow. But they did release Q1 2025 earnings. Stocks surged about 80% after hours. Doesn't take much for these stocks to see a huge short squeeze and move like that when they've been beaten down this bad. But we'll go over this. Honestly, I haven't even had that much time to dive into it, but we'll do it together. See, we have some people joining, so welcome. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And crazy move on Village Farms here after hours. We'll dive into all of it and more. We'll take a look at the chart and the price action, what to expect in terms of that in the days and weeks and months ahead. And just looking, it's basically given the whole move back. So surged about 80% after hours, and now pretty much giving everything back. So we'll get started here. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so. All right, welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, everybody. It's Rod with POW Group. As I mentioned, it's Monday, May 12th, and we have Village Farms Q1 2025 earnings. They absolutely skyrocketed after hours. It's now coming back down to life here, back down to reality. We'll discuss all of that and more in today's video. Before we do, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And as always, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And full disclosure, I do own Village Farms stock in my portfolio. You can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPOW. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. We don't have that many people on the live stream so far. We got like half a dozen people. I'm actually pretty surprised that there's not that many more people interested in Village Farms, especially when it was up 80% after hours, or maybe it's because it came back down to earth and then people got even more upset and said, screw this. don't care anymore. But if we just take a look at the chart here after hours, check this out. It pumped to $1.50 in the after hours trading session. And here we are right back down to 76 cents. So a lot of volatility here at the moment. It closed the day at 70 cents. And then we hit $1.50 after hours. And here we are right back down to 75 cents. But still up 8% at the moment. 76 cents. So a lot of volatility here after hours. We'll see how this thing opens up tomorrow. But we'll go through some of the earnings here as well. In terms of estimates, they were forecasting 76.66 million and negative 0.012 for EPS. If we take a look at investing.com, 78.42 million and negative 0.005. And while I have Moomoo up here, let's just take a look at the revenue projection here. So 78.44 million. And EPS was forecasted at negative 0.015. So we'll take a look. I think they beat in terms of revenue. So let me just take a look here. We'll go through some of the other highlights, but I want to bring that up here first and foremost. I did bring up the interim financial results, so let's just bring that up here. So take a look at sales. Where are we at here? So 77 million. I think that's the net. It's kind of a weird way to present it here. And scroll down, the loss. Man, what a terribly organized report. Okay, we'll go through. All right. Kudos to VFF for making this the worst formatted report. All right, we'll get through it here. They don't even say gross or net sales, just sales. Okay. So sales, 77 million. And like I said, we were anticipating 76. So they did beat. Like I said, we had 78 here, so missed that one. And then on Moomoo, this is based on two analysts. That was 78. So 78.44. Yeah, I guess you could say they missed probably, or came in pretty much flat, I guess, with what most were expecting. If we add them all up and get an average. So Canadian consolidated results, it breaks it down per sector. Just zoom out a little bit here. Honestly, I haven't even had time to I was doing my own thing. I was actually working on the advanced course, and this came out. I saw it was up like crazy after hours, and in the Pow Group private community, we were discussing it. But total net sales, 50. This is the Canadian performance net loss. There we go. So negative 0.06. So they had a net loss for the quarter, 6.7 million. And then negative 0.06. So they missed pretty big in terms of EPS. And we could basically say that, oh, there it is there. Diluted. Just make sure this is for the right one presentation. Man, this is very confusing. They really need to just start with the overall one and then break it down per segment. But yeah, they don't make it easy. So yeah, negative 0.06 for the 3 months ending. Yep. And then 77, and of course they don't have any gross or net. That's annoying. Gross profit was 11.34 million. Wow, I can't believe there's no one commenting in the live stream. This VFF really not that popular anymore? Does no one care about Village Farm stock? VFF, where's all the pro VFF people at? Only 9 people on the stream. Wow. If this happened to Tilray, there'd be like 2,000 people on the stream. All right, yeah, well, I guess we'll wrap it up. No one seems to care, but yeah, stock rate back down pretty much anyway. We scroll up. Village Farms International's Q1 2025 results demonstrate a successful focus on profitable sales and international expansion. Company simultaneously announces transformative transaction to privatize certain fresh produce segments, assets, and focus resources on global MJ growth opportunities. What do we see recently with Organigram, rebranded as Organigram Global? They're talking about global MJ growth opportunities. Cureleaf, their recent earnings said international sales booming. Organigram today said their international sales are booming. We know Germany's going to be a huge market. Canadian MJ delivers strongest EBITDA performance in 3 years, maintains top 3 market share nationally despite reduction in lower margin branded sales. Canadian MJ net income and adjusted EBITDA increased 258% and 64% year over year. So I guess that's pretty much what got everybody excited. And here we go. International medical export sales increased 285% year over year. Okay, so now let's think about this for a second. The MSOs, right, the multi-state operators, they barely even have the U.S. under wraps, except Cureleaf. Cureleaf's pretty much the only one. And they're a Canadian LP. They acquired Northern Green Canada, and they're in the international markets as well. They just announced news today about an EU medical approved device. So, think of Green Thumb, think of Trulieve. Okay, while we know that their numbers are great, they only operate in like 15 states in the U.S., and that's it. They don't even have Canada or international markets, and look where all the growth is happening. It's international. And I've been saying for a while now, these U.S. MSOs, these Canadian LPs are going to absolutely eat their lunch. And I'm a little concerned for some of the people that are, the MSO gang, because they're not learning what they took from the Canadian market, and they're going to probably go and make the same mistakes in the U.S. market as well. Commenced MJ sales in the Netherlands, the company's first European recreational market. It's expected to receive $40 million in cash proceeds, as well as 37.9% equity ownership interest in Vanguard upon closing of the transaction, which is expected to occur during the second quarter. So Vanguard Food, backed by private investment firms including Sweat Equities, to privatize certain assets of the operations of its fresh produce division. Transaction will create a newly private-held joint venture in Village Farms as a minority investor, simultaneously enabling the company to focus on growing global MJ business and repositioning of its fresh produce business to flourish independently with a new strategic capital partner. Interesting. So today's announcements reflect the transformative change of Village Farms, which we believe will unlock tremendous long-term value for both our MJ and produce businesses. Our ownership interest in Vanguard improves upside potential for our legacy produce business with experienced industry partners who have created significant value for shareholders in the past and are committed to executing a roll-up strategy of other produce assets. Growing MJ business, maintaining substantial future expansion potential to continue building our reputation as one of the largest, most respected scaled cultivators and marketers of MJ on the planet. Yeah, so that would be the two major reasons. So that news there, Vanguard news and the joint venture, and then obviously these numbers here, the adjusted EBITDA and international medical export. Scrolling down, let's look at some other highlights. Yeah, consolidated sales. Yeah, 77.1 million compared. What do they have for excise tax? Let me see. Why isn't it less excise tax? 13.937 million. So quite a bit. Let's see if there's anything else notable. This is basically how I go through every report. So again, I didn't review this prior to, so I wanted to go through and go on and get the go on SEDAR, get the interim financial results, and kind of go through it together. But yeah, cash and cash equivalents, didn't see that. Cash and cash equivalents, 15.12 million. Ugh, that's not a lot. Total current assets, 104 million. Liabilities, total liabilities, 119 million. So a little bit heavy there on the liability front. I think that's pretty much all we got here. We'll check in on the stock again, sitting at 75, so kind of fizzling out here. Wow. If you played this thing, if you swung this thing through earnings, like I said, I thought the earnings was tomorrow. It said it was tomorrow. This says Monday, May 12th, but I was looking at the earnings calendar there on NCV, and it didn't. It said tomorrow, so I was confused by that. And I also didn't see anything communicated earlier by the company, but flew under the radar. Maybe they knew that this was coming, so they tried to keep it under the radar for as much as possible. All right, so our branded sales, gross margin increased to 36% in MJ, compared to 25%, with an increase due primarily higher to international medical export sales. Yeah, that's pretty much to be expected. Yeah, cash, a little bit of concern there, but this new Vanguard news and joint venture should help with that. Took a 7K loss in VFF, bought Tilray when it dropped to 45 cents, went all in on Tilray. Yeah, I mean, I'd just be careful going all in on anything. I tend to say you never want to put 5 to 10% of your net worth into one sector, and then of that 5 to 10% of your net worth that you decide to put into a sector, divvy that up between about 6 to 12 stocks. I like around 8 is my main number, but I mean, teach their own. Don't do anything based on anything that I say or write, but there could be worse picks than Tilray. Let's put it that way. But wish you the best. All right, just checking in. Tilray is tough, but thank God I accumulated 100K. Yeah, it's funny. Where's a VFF video and all people can talk about is Tilray. Sold it at 67 cents, bought Tilray for 60 cents, sold CGC profit, $2. Tilray super loser. All good. Yeah, it's, well, I mean, like I said, the stock was, VFF was up $1.50 after hours, and then all that gave the whole move back. Still up 11%, but very volatile here. We'll see how it opens tomorrow. Yeah, surprised there's not even a dozen people on this. What would it take? Does the stock have to surge like 1,000% after hours for people to care about VFF? What's going on here? No one cares about Village Farms. Crazy. And I'm not even sure what we're talking about anymore. Are we talking about Village Farms or are we talking about Tilray? Oh, man. Yeah, come on, Village Farms. You're going to have to start upping your PR game and getting this retail interest back, because I'm doing a video for you, and all anyone can talk about is Tilray. You're going to have to step up your game. I might have to come on PAL Group for an interview. All right, going into there, I guess, because no one cares. All right, have a great night, everybody. It's Rod with PAL Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll see you again in the next video.